Hello, and welcome to this video. Today we are doing something that I have been waiting to do, low-key, high-key. I mean, I didn't know that I wanted to before I saw this set screenshot. And I mean, what else is there to do than just honestly start talking about it and going crazy, because we have been waiting for this for so long, it would seem like. But it's finally here, or, I mean, not quite yet. But we just got a bit of an update, And there are so many things to potentially talk about and jump right into. And I kind of just want to do that and talk about what I think might contain in the new update. So let's just honestly start from the top. We have a new major festival. Now, that could be a lot of different things, couldn't it, right? And I mean, we have a lot of different festivals already that are quite huge. Like, we have Easter and Christmas, potentially, and, like, Halloween and all those things. So my mind low-key jumps to Valentine's Day or New Year's Eve or something like that. Because, honestly, we have little to nothing when it comes to something that could be like New Year's or just indicate that now a new year has begun. So I feel like that is low-key a need. It would be really nice to actually feel like it matters that, oh, now it's actually spring. Wow, so I need to fix that or whatever. And I'm not sure that any of those pictures right there have much to do with the new festivals or whatever, but I'll get back to my thoughts on those. But yeah, I thought Valentine's Day, but then I also thought New Year's Eve. And my sister also pointed out low-key that Valentine's Day, isn't that low-key the flower dance? And then I was like shut down, like, damn, I really don't know what it's gonna be. But a major festival, that is, wow, that is news to us. Now, two new mini festivals sound equally interesting and intriguing, But I think that the new mini festivals are gonna be something along the lines of the night market, because that you can just kind of come and go. Because I was like, what does mini even mean? And then I was like, oh, sure, it's there, but you really don't have to go to it. And even the beach is not really obstructed because of it. You can still fish and everything, even though that everything is there. And you can also still go to Ginger, even though it's there. So I would say that that's a mini festival in of itself. I think that the new mini festivals will be something along those lines. Markets, perhaps more markets. That would be kind of cool. I just don't know what they would pertain. So what are your thoughts? I feel like my mind is on Valentine's Day for whatever reason. So what if you could maybe give people gifts and then be like, oh, here's my candy cane to you, or it's not a candy cane. I don't know much about Valentine's Day. I am not from America, but whatever. Now, what is the most exciting, almost, I would say, for someone who has played hours upon hours, thousands, by the way, of Stardew Valley, new late game content which expands on each of the skill areas. What? Like, that is insane. What does that even mean? Do we get new things? Like, do we get to choose something other than having focus on farm animals, or do we actually get a whole new profession? Almost, because I do believe that they're called professions when you choose them, right? Because you can choose to be more of the archer or whatever. Yeah, like it's that. What could that be? I have my thoughts about it, but I think it might pertain to just new ways of gathering stuff. Maybe your like eggs will be worth more, or I know that you can already choose basically to be either a chicken or a coop or a barn person, but still it'll be fun to see what it is though. New items and crafting recipes. These pictures are intriguing, aren't they? I mean, what is that totem? What is that iridium tea, maybe? And what is that saxophone with hot Cheetos in it? No, I don't know what that is, but I think it might be like bow and arrow. And I'm like, what? Are we gonna get some new mining abilities? Are we gonna be able to hunt like that in the mines for the monsters, that would be incredible, because we don't have much of that other than the slingshot. And the slingshot, don't even get me started on the slingshot. Me and her are not best friends. I almost always avoid it. It annoys me and it fills up space where it need not be. I just don't like it, I really don't. And I don't know what it is. I just have unnecessary beef with a slingshot. So bow and arrow might be a little something though, might be a little cooler, but yeah. But new items, I almost have no possible way of knowing what that could even be. But maybe new crops. Honestly, I have a feeling that it could be new crops, and I don't know if you could call that items per se. Joja alternatives to some of the in-game quests. Now this is very necessary, I feel like, because in vanilla game, if you're not playing expanded or something else like that, Joja is quite unsatisfying to me. Like, just by the pure fact that it's Joja to begin with is not very satisfying, but then when you do go that route, because you chose that route, it's not satisfying either, because you're like, oh, low-key nothing happens. So that is really, really interesting. I wonder if you're gonna be able to really, like, maybe even befriend Morris. That would be really very Stardew Valley expanded of Concerned Ape, if he did choose to make that a possibility. But that would be fun, and actually give him some background, which I could see happen, because we have, like, right on there you see that it says 100 plus new lines of dialogue. Does that include bachelorettes? I think it might. I think it should. So let's see. It could be really fun. What if we could actually date Gus? Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, we don't want to date Clint, by the way. Concerned Ape? Just forget about that, okay? Don't make him a bachelor. We don't want him. Please. Please. Anyways. Winter outfits for the villagers. Now that sounds just cozy and low-key also necessary, because sometimes the villagers do tend to look a little bit silly. I must admit, just a little bit silly, because like at like the ice festival, for example, where Demetrius is just like very much just in his t-shirt, and he's like, oh, I should have probably not been wearing this. And I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't, huh, Sherlock? But he has no option, because there are no clothing options. And I mean, we can throw our other clothes mods in the bin then. But I know it's only winter, but it looks so cute. Look at Jazz and Sebastian with their hats and scarves. It's so nice. I really can't wait to see what that looks like. New type of reward for completing billboard requests. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you can perhaps get some energy or health from helping villagers, or maybe even more friendship points? Or do you in return get like a stack of pancakes if you give Jody a diamond that she wants, or whatever? Like, do you get something in return that's like maybe sort of a trade, like, oh, you did this for me, so I cooked you this? I feel like that could be a thing, that they might give you like an artisanal good, or like a wine, so thank you for giving this for me, like you can have this wine, or something like that. Or maybe it's something completely like third that has not been seen before, and in which case I'm probably wrong. And then for PC, you will now be able to play 8 multiplayers together. Support for 8-player multiplayer. That is insane. I don't even know if I could gather that many people to play Stardew Valley with me, but it is sounding up, and it sounds really awesome for the people who want to do that. So go you. Many small additions and adjustments. I wonder what that means. Is he gonna change the way that the trees look? Is he gonna change the way that the worms, the artisanal artifact spots look? I don't know. Maybe that's what that means, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what he means by many small additions. You also said this was a small update, Mr. Concerned Ape, so I don't know how we can believe you at this point, but sure, we'll take it. A new farm type. So immediately when I saw this photo, I thought swamp. Like swamp. And I don't know why that came to mind, other than the little picture down in the far left corner, because I was like, huh, that sort of looks like the beginning of the Witch's Grotto, which is very much giving swamp, right? What also tipped me off after then was then the frogs. Because what do you have in a swamp? Frogs. You have to have frogs in a swamp. So therefore, I was like, okay, well, then that's probably it. Or maybe, potentially anyway. But I also thought a little further and was like, what if it's like a winter farm? And that's why they're getting winter clothes. But then I was like, okay, what would it be then? Like an ice farm or something? But I feel like that's not enough of a theme. Like snow and stuff. That just seems like, well, what are the like positives to that? Like what makes that even interesting? So I kind of have thrown away that theory that it's a winter farm because I'm not really sure that would be that cool. I mean, might be a little bit cute, but how would that work with the seasons? Like, would it all be snow all around and just frosty and wintry? Because that's a little like, winter is the dullest season in Stardew Valley, at least in my opinion. So I don't know why you would make a whole farm out of that. So yeah, I guess you could throw that theory out a little bit. But I am quite keen on the swamp, though, I must say. That I think that could be a possibility, really. And I also think that with the swamp, maybe like panning would be expanded on, because panning is not really that interesting or does much of anything as in the current game. You can't even upgrade your pan, so that's whatever. So yeah, I don't really know, but the swamp farm would be my new favorite, and I just can't wait to see all the Shreks out there be happy about that. If that is the case. I mean, I might be completely wrong. Maybe like a jungle farm could also be. Like, it also looks a little bit jungle-esque to me with all the new things. So, maybe, but let's see. Now I kind of just want to talk about the pictures because I kind of just like flew by them. So, what is this little green star thing with like a little hat on? I feel like maybe it's a crop. But what crop, you may ask? And I'm like, I don't know, because we already have a star fruit, and that's not what star fruits look like anyway. But I just feel like it could be. It looks very like edible and cute or something like that. I don't see it as just being like a decorative item or anything like that anyway. But yeah, I'm kind of lost on that one, not gonna lie. And low-key equally so on the next one, which just looks like a bunch of eggs. But I don't think it's a bunch of eggs. I'm like, maybe it's something in the mines, perhaps a new like mineral. No, but we have copper and all that, so that's where I'm kind of lost. Every time I come to a conclusion, I'm like, no, but we either already have that or that wouldn't make much sense. So maybe I should stick with my fact that it might be like eggs of some sort, but then what kind of eggs, huh? For the fish thing, I think this might be something that turns our roe into something else, or maybe ages it, or just does anything with fish, or maybe morbidly you could put fish in it and then they would turn out iridium quality or something. That would seem a little bit pointless though with the fishing system, but maybe something like that, because with the fish on there, I'm like, why is there a fish on there? That has got to be something with you put something in, you get something out, right? Or am I the only one thinking in those like ways? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking this could be. And now the bush or plant or whatever it is could be a bunch of different things. I just think it's a new like structural thing that you have on the farm, or maybe potentially even just around the valley. So I don't have many thoughts on that, because I also kind of can't wait, because I want to look at the totem pole and talk a little bit about her. Now, this totem I've looked at for such a long time and just thought, why are you smiling and what is this? So my first initial reaction is perhaps it's for the wizard, because we don't really have a totem that goes out in those parts, like around Marnie's or something like that. But then again, it just looks a little off, doesn't it? Like, it just like looks a little bit wider, and I don't even know. So perhaps it could be a new place that we don't even know of yet, just like a little off to something. And the fact that it's purple also makes me like, Is it a totem for Mr. Q? Like, wherever Mr. Q is, perhaps? Like, is it for the walnut room? But then we have, like, the obelisk for the island on Ginger Island. So, is that a bit redundant to have another one? But yeah, I feel like it could be a bunch of different things. What do you guys think? For the tea, I think that that is some sort of iridium tea that will be like a booster for combat. And I think that that's like next to, or maybe it's, oh no, we already low-key have a totem for Skull Cavern, so I don't know why I'm freaking out. Anyway, yeah, so that you can drink it and perhaps get energy again if you're like out. Like, you have those tonics, but then this could maybe also give you like some luck or some defense or something like that. I feel like it's gonna be a food item. You're gonna be able to consume it and then get some sort of awesome ability, perhaps like a golden star in Mario. I don't know. I see it being quite OP and cool. I'm excited. Maybe an item everyone loves? Is it a love potion? That's right up my alley. Now, I think it's bow and arrows. That picture, I think it's bow and arrows. So I feel like, is that a new item? Will we be able to use bows and arrows? I low-key think so. So that's really my theory on that. Now, that orange ticket is what I'd like to call it. I think it looks like a ticket. And maybe there's gonna be like a little bit of a booth or something where you can get this ticket and then exchange it, or maybe exchange it with villagers. Like, maybe it'll lead to something specific. And I'm really excited to see what it could be, but I definitely think it's a ticket of some sort. To what? We'll see. We don't know yet, obviously. Now, this little assortment of like a box, like a blue box with the yellow question mark on it, I think that's definitely Joja related. How it's Joja related, you may ask? Of course, I have absolutely no clue as to how it's Joja related just yet. Anyway, I mean, if I predicted it, well, but I probably didn't, so, well, whatevers. But I think it will be Joja related, and we might need to put something in it, or there will be mystery boxes all around, and then it just is a mystery box, and you get something. You might get an omelet, you might get trash. We'll see what that is. We'll see. And then there's the suspicious guy just standing there looking a lot like Gunther, but then not at all. I think he'll be something like the shopkeeper on Ginger Island or something like that. He might give you some quests or something, like, get some salmon berries for me and I'll do this, or I'll give you this or this. But I also think that he is possibly going to be someone for the Joja route, as we can see that that is something that we're gonna get. So that is really, really, really awesome, right? And the frogs, the different colored frogs, the yellow, the like void colored, and the blue. Void colored, it's black, but you know, with the red eye. It's really interesting. Are we going to be able to farm frogs now? Because I think that's what ties it in my mind even more so, that it might be a swamp farm. Because why are the frogs like at the forefront now, or why are they even there to begin with? It's really, really interesting. I am not complaining though. I'm a froggy gal myself. I am very obsessed with frogs and toads. They are cute, as is every person on this earth, I would hope. If you think frogs are gross, I'm sorry, but you need a hug, that's for sure. No, but that is honestly, that's my thoughts and feelings about this honestly kind of major update. Like, I don't care what Concerned Ape says. This seems pretty major, even though he says it's just a minor update. But I can't, for one, wait to see where this goes and if I'm actually right about something. I mean, I've been pretty vague, and there's some things where I genuinely, the eggs or whatever it is, I have no clue what that could be. I would have to really stretch my imagination to think of something that could be, but I would love for you guys to comment what you think that some of these things could be down in the comments. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye!